Hello, I'm Paul Pluta from Paul Pluta Prestige, and today I'd like to talk about the Plastic Sea Dweller. And this is a piece here. This is model reference 1665, and this here is the very famed Plastic Sea Dweller, a very collectible sports watch. And this piece here is from the mid-70s. And this piece that you see on the screen here, there's two sets of photos. There's the before restoration and after. And this watch actually belonged to a good friend of mine, my former boss. And he bought it brand new. And he knew I was into watches. And he said to me, hey, can you help me sell it off? He'd enjoyed it for so long. And he could use the money for other hobbies that he had. He's heavily into camera equipment, and he's also into audio. He's an audiophile, so you know money can always be used in other parts of your hobby. So he'd finished with his Sea Dweller, and I sold it for very good money, and it was over $10,000 US. And the prices on them, I've seen them, they've gone huge money, and then with this global financial crisis they've pulled back a bit, but they're still a very collectible piece. And that's because this here, it was Rolex's piece, which went to extraordinary depths, and it was just an amazing feat for the time period that this was released on the market. And I've got to say, the Sea Dweller itself, comparing it to the sort of more modern sapphire sea dwellers and the deep sea, I think there's certainly an elegance in this model. It's very nicely done. Doesn't have the sapphire crystal, so it's got a little bit of it's got that design excellence that I think you lose by having the Cyclops. And these pieces they're hugely, the only thing more collectible than a plastic Sea Dweller would be a red plastic Sea Dweller. That's where you've got Sea Dweller in red writing and things like that there. But I mean, still, this is a very collectible piece, very desired sports watch to have. And it's a tool watch. At the end of the day, it's a tool watch, and highly desirable piece to own there. And you can understand why when you look at this here, and this is the versions that came out 40 years ago. It's just amazing. And this restoration here, so basically my ex-boss, he had it, and I agreed to sell. I knew I had contacts in the trade, got him a fantastic price, and it was then restored by another friend of mine. And it's very interesting to see these pieces here. It's beautiful to see that one collector's enjoyed it, and it's then gone on to another collector to enjoy further. And it'll be something that survives hundreds of years, hopefully. Just beautiful to see these vintage pieces in the flesh, the before and after. Magnificent piece. Okay, let's go through the scoring. For the brand itself, I'm going to give it a 7. For the significance of this model, this is a very important model for Rolex. I'm going to give it a 10. For the movement itself, I'm going to give it an 8. For the finish and the quality of workmanship on this piece here, I'm going to give it a 10. This was a precision instrument with the helium escape valve. This thing had to be perfect to work as intended. And finally, the Paul Pluta Prestige rating, I'm going to give it an 8, which gives us a total score of 43 points. That's the Rolex Plastic Sea Dweller 1665. I'm Paul Pluta from Paul Pluta Prestige. I hope you've enjoyed this review.